For my final project, I decided to solid model the turret Banshee from the computer strategy game Starcraft 2, scaling it to the size of a V-22 Osprey. To begin, I had to figure out a way to create the frame of the Banshee. It was clear that I needed to create several planes and corresponding sketches in order to make a single loft of the frame's general shape. However, the sharp edges and complicated geometry prevented me from simply sketching different size circles and ellipses. Instead, I made center lines in closed oblong loops and connected each of them with a spline. Because Banshee is symmetric about its center, I simply had to mirror each spline to reduce the time and work required. I connected the sketches with a single spline to use as a guided curve for the loft. The resulting loft was still very imperfect, and it took several extruded cuts and mirrors of each cut to get the desired shape of the Banshee frame. Lofting was also the main method of creating the extra details in the frame, such as the airfoil tips on the tail rotor, as well as the exhaust vents above the frame. For the wings, I extruded a circular boss and cut extrude a circular pattern to make equal length, equal space beams. I extrude cut another hole in the middle of the boss where the propoder blades would go. The propoder blades were made by extruding an airfoil sketch from the center of a thin cylinder and making a circular pattern to create the other blades. The rockets were made from a single extruded cylinder with a drafted back half. In the final assembly, the rockets were mated using the surface of an extrusion in the rocket and a slot in the frame that I had prepared. For the blades, I made the holes on the wing and the blades concentric and their edges coincident. I then placed a pin through the holes to fix them in place but allowed them to rotate. This worked for both the propellers and the tail blade. To attach the wings to the frame, I had to make an intermediary brace that would provide different degrees of motion. On one side of the brace, I extruded two supports which would be pinned onto the frame. The other side of the brace featured an extruded hole that would fit the wing's rotating shaft. I made it so that the pinned mate would have a limited angle movement of 0 to 20 degrees, while the rotating shaft on the wing had a limited angle movement of -30 to 30 degrees. To finalize the project, I decided to run a simulation on the right wing of the Banshee. I placed a fixture on the rotating shaft and added a 44,000 pound load directed upwards on the wing to simulate lift. Setting the material to 1060 aluminum alloy, the von Mises stress analysis returned a maximum stress of 3.24 times 10 to the 4 psi and a maximum displacement on the far airfoil of 1.6 inches. And with that, I conclude my video presentation. Thanks for watching.